Well, the Kitchen at Billings Forge in Hartford is a unique farm-to-table movement that is providing jobs and creating opportunities in one of the most economically challenged communities in the nation. Well, Julie Carrion is a director of catering and education at the Kitchen at Billings Forge, and she's joined by Tamara Carson, who is in training and is kind of the sous chef. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Look, she looks all excited. Ladies, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you for having us.
Tamara, thanks so much for being here. Listen, tell us about this exciting program that you had. This is really interesting.
Yeah, well, we just opened in back in June, and the idea was to approach some of the issues surrounding food access in our community. So at that point we had already had a farmers market, so we bring farmers in to provide food, but we hadn't really approached some of the more basic needs of job opportunities as much as we wanted to. So what the catering business does is to provide 3 positions for job trainees.
Wow.
One of them works overnight with our bread baker.
And then now we have Tamara. Now, how does it feel, Tamara? You didn't have a job before. You linked up. How does it feel to be back in the workforce? I mean, what has the program done for you?
It feels good. They taught me a lot. I've learned a lot because I didn't do this before. I usually cook like soul food, so she taught me a lot of like different dishes to make and stuff.
And how to make it with fresh vegetables.
Right.
Okay, look, not a lot of that butter now, right? Hey, now tell us what we're making today.
Well, it's a little butter today.
A little bit of butter, okay.
So we're lucky to still have in Connecticut access to fresh and healthy food that's grown locally. So we have Butternut Squash from Dondero Orchards, who's one of our vendors at the market. We have Swiss Chard from 2 guys from Woodbridge who also come to the market. And the recipe would start by just peeling this squash and cutting into cubes. It doesn't have to be this small, but right over here, this is the squash that's come out of the oven. So you want it to get, kind of a little bit brown. And then with the onions take the longest thing, but you don't really have to spend a lot of time with them. You don't just occasionally stir them until they get really nice and brown like this.
Okay.
And that brings out all the natural sugars.
And how long would we actually cook that butternut squash?
Probably, that amount might take about 20 minutes.
Okay.
20 minutes.
20 minutes or so.
Depends on how largely they're cooked.
Now tell me about this. What are we adding to this again?
This is Swiss Chard.
Oh.
So it's grown, even though it's the middle of winter, our vendor, our farmer, grows them hydroponically. So they're still available now to come down to the market.
People should know that every Thursday you have a farmer's market.
Every Thursday, right in the middle of Hartford on Broad Street, the same parking lot we share with Firebox Restaurant. 559 Broad Street is our address, and it's 3:30 to 6 all through the winter.
That's awesome. All right, now tell us what we're doing here. Now, Tamara, you already chopped up that stuff there, right? Now, what did you chop up again on that corner?
The Swiss chard and the sage.
Okay, sage. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then now what are we going to do? We would fast forward, and that would kind of cook down a little bit?
It would cook down a little bit, and then we would start assembling it.
Okay.
So we'd come over here, and you get, what makes a gratin is the, this is kind of more traditional dish that it's baked in, right?
Okay.
It usually includes some kind of a topping of breadcrumbs and cheese, and we're going to add a little cream. It doesn't have to have a lot of cream.
Oh, you can put a lot of cream. Tamara knows.
But there is enough richness where, even though this is a vegetarian dish, it has cheese in it. All you really need on the side of this is like a little salad.
Okay.
So we also have some greens that we're going to show you how to make a good salad here.
Okay.
So you could just layer some of this in like that. That's it. The onions are going to give it so much flavor because of the caramelization and bringing out the sage. And then you can put, you want to do this part? Yeah, pour it on there. Pour it in a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
there you go.
I'm going to put it all in there because I love cream.
Yeah, and then you can sprinkle, this is hazelnut flour. So people that don't tolerate flour, this is just crushed up nuts. I mean, a lot of people are figuring out they're gluten intolerant or they want to cut out their carbs or whatever. This is just nuts, just crushed nuts.
I love that. Now what do you have?
This is what the whole nuts would look like. Some people might want to, chop them up rougher, but we're using the flour. And then this is goat cheese. We also have a cheese farmer that comes to the market, Sweet Pea Cheeses.
Wow.
So you can get this goat cheese right there. And,
and Tamara, I want to bring you in here because you were saying earlier that, in that particular community that tends to be more of a challenging community, there are not a lot of places to get fresh fruit and vegetables. You've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
How difficult was it for you?
It's hard because you have to go to a grocery store probably 15 minutes away, so you can't.
And now, because of this program, you're able to actually get fruits and vegetables that are fresh and that are healthy for them. That's crazy that in 2010, you're in a community and nowhere near you can you get an apple.
Right, and there's stores around, but they don't sell them.
Yeah. They don't sell, and it's like corner stores that have the chips for, the chips and the Andy caps. Not that we have anything wrong with Andy caps. I love them, but those.
A lot of overly processed food that's readily available, but it's not necessarily has any nutritional value. So some of what we're approaching in our classes for kids, too, to combat obesity problems within that community is teaching kids how to appreciate vegetables, how to like them in a new way. I mean, you add cheese to a vegetable and the kid is going to more likely, be into it. And then it would go straight in the oven like that.
At what temperature?
About 350.
350, and we would cook it for how many minutes?
At this point, everything's cooked, so it probably just takes like 10 or 15 minutes to brown up.
Now, you are the guest in the kitchen, so I'm going to pull this fabulous one out that you finished here, ladies. And really quickly, because we're against the clock, I want to mention that you have lots of different programs. People that want to help out can volunteer. Is that right, ladies?
Absolutely. We'd love it. We'll take the help when we plant the summer garden. Volunteers can access us on our website, which is thekitchencatering.org.
Okay.
Billings Forge Community Works is our founding nonprofit, so there's lots of information about our artist workshops. We have open studio night that's in conjunction with a happy hour at Firebox, so there's plenty of fun stuff to do.
And you know what we're going to do? We're going to put your information on our website. Folks, if you want to try this awesome salad, try this wonderful gluten here, come to WTNH.com, click on Connecticut Salad. We will get you the link. Julie,